Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your dangerously dehydrated dingo.
The dingo ate your baby.
Yes, a dingo ate your baby. Did you ever see that movie, A Cry in the Dark?
I have not.
It was actually very good. It was starring the incomparable Meryl Streep. She can do no wrong. Hopefully she won't ruin it by doing something wrong after this podcast drops. But, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Lovers Quarrel. If this is your first time listening, thank you for joining us and tuning in. If this is your second time, glad that you're back. And if it's your third or more, as TJ would like to describe you, you are now a lover.
Welcome to the club.
And, we're here doing our thing. So if you haven't already, if you are a lover or a listener, you know that we didn't drop last week, and my, alliteration and my elevator will help give you a little bit of context as to why we did not drop an episode last week, even though TJ did kind of touch on it with our Instagram post.
Yeah, I did.
You did. Thank you for doing that, because I was, knocking on death's door. It felt like.
So dramatic.
I mean, I learned from the best.
Do you really?
I mean, yeah.
Who's the best?
You don't think you're just a wee bit dramatic?
Nah, not at all.
Folks, that's gonna be our first competition of the episode. Who in here that's listened to 15 minutes of any episode of Lovers Quarrel and doesn't think that TJ is a little bit dramatic? If you agree that TJ is dramatic, hashtag TJ drama. If you think he's not, then you're going to say hashtag Dani's wrong. I think that that's fair.
You would think that would be fair, but your hashtags are trash.
Okay, well, you can come up.
TJ drama. What was the other one? Dani's
wrong.
Dani's wrong.
Okay.
Dani wrong.
All right. Or, okay, they can put Dani drama. Whoever you think is hashtag Dani drama or hashtag TJ drama, as far as who you think is the more dramatic of the two of us. You, sir, are a Pisces. You are a water sign.
And you're a Cancer.
Okay, but I own my dramaticness. But you
cry,
are dramatic.
You cry because it's beautiful outside.
I don't cry because it's beautiful outside. You get upset for everything. You stub your toe and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, because if anyone in the world stubbed their toe, they feel that way. And I promise you that they feel that way. Again, you cry because you seen a painting and you was like,
I've never cried over the beauty of a painting.
That's how Cancers do.
Will I cry when I'm upset, or if I'm like, I empathize with someone's pain? Okay. I might, but that doesn't make me like super dramatic. You are way more dramatic than me. It's
how was your deathbed? Was it?
Okay. Well, that's my elevator. Okay. So we can just transition to the elevator.
Let's get into this dramatic elevator.
Drama king. It's going down and up. So we'll start with going down.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
Pretty much the last 2 weeks, been feeling awful. Part of my struggle since I've had the gastric sleeve surgery was literally like getting in enough protein, getting in enough fluids, because of course they want you to ease your way back into solid foods. And so I was kind of like in the pureed stage, but I couldn't find stuff that I liked. I was struggling and I was stressed. And then it was time for me to go back to work. And I was really struggling at that point. And so what ultimately happened was, like, I went to the doctor 2 Fridays ago from the time that this episode dropped. And they gave me some suggestions, some tips or whatever. And then it got so bad, y'all, that like the dehydration got so bad that I was just so nauseous and vomiting all the time that thinking about food, smelling food, being like just strong sense period made me want to gag. It got so bad that I literally got sent home from work because my coworker caught me like throwing up in a garbage can in the back of my classroom. And from there, I just couldn't like I don't think I've ever felt that bad. For my women who've had children, if you've ever experienced morning sickness,
it's just like that.
It's intensified.
Oh,
it's morning sickness times
10.
10.
Oh, I've been there. So does that mean that I can?
You don't know what it's like to be pregnant.
Technically, no. I could say I know what it's like to be pregnant times 10.
No,
according to you.
No, you know what morning sickness feels like times 10. You've never had someone kicking you in your
so
kidneys,
I know what it feels
liver.
Like for the first trimester of pregnancy, because that's when the morning sickness is.
You've never had your breasts be tender and hurting.
My breast may be tender.
Your breast might be tender.
It might be. I don't remember now.
Oh my God. So anyway, so
that means the next time. So that means if you get pregnant again, I could tell you, like, yo, man up, like, you've been through worse stuff.
No, you can't.
Like, I've been there before.
You can't.
I can't wait to have those conversations.
You can't tell a pregnant woman that, because you still have
never. For the first trimester,
pregnant.
I can. Once you get to the second and third, you got it.
Can speak. You can speak. Away. You can speak
I'll
to morning sickness. There are more symptoms of pregnancy besides morning sickness.
But you just said it's 10 times worse than being pregnant.
Listen to the words. You can speak to morning sickness because I'm telling you that's what it felt like. Right. Outside of that, just shut your mouth.
I guess.
I know.
Do you?
I do, because the only person in this room that's had a baby is me. So anyway,
it's crazy.
So the following Friday, at this point, like, I'm home all last week. I can barely talk. Like, I'm literally, I say 10 words, I'm running to the bathroom, and I have nothing left to give. And by the time I get to the doctor, my scheduled follow-up appointment the following Friday, my surgeon takes one look at me. He's like, I'm sending you to the ER. So now I'm in the ER. I'm getting 5-6 bags of fluid. I got IVs in my arm. I get admitted, but, like, no shade at all. It was some of the best sleep I had gotten in, like, those 2 weeks, because I was actually, like, comfortable. I didn't feel completely drained and dried out. And so,
no shade to who?
Just, like, other patients, I guess, because, like, the staff there was like, you slept well even with us coming in. I was like, yeah. I was like, because, and I mean, I guess no shade to Tatum, because I didn't have somebody going, mommy, I got a pee-pee, poking me in the face.
So you blaming Tatum now? Taking shots at our daughter.
I'm not taking shots at her, but
nah, you did.
Do you get better sleep with or without her?
With her.
You lying?
I'm not lying.
So when she's, like, crawling all over you and
doesn't bother me.
Maybe you just sleep through it. That's why.
Sometimes I don't.
If she's in the bed with me and you, plus she comes to me first anyway.
I mean, sometimes.
Most of the time.
If you say so, because a lot of times I end up with her in my arms.
Because I've gotten out the bed.
No, fuck out of here. It's been times that she's been with you, and I'd be like, "You want to lay on daddy?" And she'd be like, "Yes." Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. You're a hater. Anyway.
So
it's cool.
I get
about 5, 6. I'm gonna play this tape for her so she can know how her mother was talking about her.
That's fine.
Okay.
She's still a mama's girl.
You don't believe that?
You think she's a daddy's girl?
100%. I'm her best friend. Who did she call best friend?
Because you indoctrinated her.
I didn't do anything. You brought her home one day and she was calling me best friend, and I just rolled with it.
Okay.
You're a hater, yo.
Okay. She could be both. So anyway, wild dehydrated, fluids, hospital stay. Now I've got, my arm is, like, laced with all of these bruises because of the IVs and being light skinned. But it helped me turn a corner. I went back to the day we're recording this is my first day back to work. I took it easy, but guys, it has been so long since I felt that awful and for such an extended period of time, but I wouldn't have made it through recording an episode last week. But I am happy to report that I am on the mend. String cheese and low-fat deli turkey are my best friends. Vanilla soy milk tastes great. So I'm trying, new things. I'm on regular food now, easing my way back into the land of real food. And I'm just grateful that, my surgeon, my family took care of me, that the hospital staff just kind of helped me out in that I was really just like focused on recovering. Like, as much as it sucks to miss work, especially at the beginning of the school year, it's a pivotal time of the year, I wasn't stressing myself out about it because I'm like, I just don't have the energy. But the main thing that's still left for me is that I do tire easy still, because I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm at like 78% Dani as far as like recovery is concerned. But y'all, it's just no joke. If any of our listeners, lovers out there have ever been like hospitalization worthy levels of dehydration, you know what I'm talking about. And it's just a lesson, and something I wasn't planning with this surgery as an after effect, I guess. But it was scary and frustrating, but I'm glad that it's now.
You thought you was gonna die?
Over. I didn't think I was gonna die, but I thought that they were gonna tell me like, yo, like you could, like your organs are shutting down or something like that, like, cause like when they drew my blood at the hospital, I've never seen my blood come out so slow. It was like almost sludgy, but they took really good care of me, and I'm feeling better. So with that, I yield.
Way to feel better. I never heard you go up, though. Is that because you feel better now? Is that you're up? Okay. I'm glad you feel better, too.
I know you are. You can't.
I can't what? Let's talk about it.
It's actually a little bit of my relationship tip, too. But you
right.
can't. I don't think you handle it well when I'm sick or not well.
Sorry for the long pause, y'all. I don't think that I don't handle it well. I think I have an expectation of how I want to help you, and I'm shut out of it every time. But I don't think that.
But I think
I'm learning just to keep my distance and go.
See, I don't want you to keep your distance, but see, that's the thing. I think like you want to help take care of me in the way that you want to help take care of me,
not necessarily
versus like how I like to be taken care of.
Not necessarily, because even this time, I told you stay at your mother's, and you didn't want to stay at your mother's.
I did, but at the same time, I didn't want to not.
I said stay at your mother's because obviously, and that was me learning that this is what you needed. So I'm like, stay at your mother's, and you decided that you didn't want to, but every morning you went to your mother's house, so it made no sense for you to come home.
I didn't want you to think that I was like actively avoiding
my mind's already made up about that. So
and that's why. So he wasn't saying it like, babe.
It was nothing negative. It's nothing negative. This is how you are able to cope, and this is how you need to recover. So stay.
But
like,
if that was it,
because at the end of
you also said
that's what I said.
But you also said that like you also said you have your mind. I said you have your mind made up about like me wanting to stay away from you. It has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing to do with staying from me. But
I see that.
To me, it's just stupid. Like, so you're gonna get up every morning and go over there where you could just stay over there. Like, it makes no sense.
Well,
it made no sense in the world. Every morning you wouldn't go to your mother's house anyway. So if you would have just stayed there,
Tatum, I was trying to be helpful with that.
Okay. My elevator tip is up. I am
up.
soon about to lose my job, and I'm excited for what's next. The next possibilities in life. So
that's good. I mean,
so.
I'm glad.
And I know people may be like, how's that an up? You know, you gotta look at the positives in life and understand that, you know, things happen for a reason, and in God's will, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But I'm just happy to get out of there, and I'm still gonna do my job, and just seeing how people are reacting. That's another positive thing, at least for me, is just that, you know, I'm in a good situation in life. So I don't have to stress. Losing a job isn't stressing me out. I don't know if it's stressing Dani out, but as long as my bills are going to get paid and I'm able to find something, I have no worries. So
yeah, it's not. We are a unit. We are supportive of each other.
Unless you're sick.
Because I am the foundation.
Okay.
So when I'm sick, everything else comes crumbling down.
Oh.
Because I'm the rock of this line.
Definitely not.
I mean,
you the pebble of this line.
Whatever. But no, I'm not worried. I have nothing but faith in it's setting you up for something greater than what you were having. So, and we've been through worse. Like, we've been through worse. We've had harder times, and this is just part of being an adult. It's, it's whack, but it is what it is. Is that it for your elevator?
That's it.
Okay. And with that being said, we're going to take a nice little stroll down to the relationship tip of the week. Would you like me to go first?
I can go first.
Oh, okay.
So based off of this and what we were just talking about, my tip is don't let your relationship define who you are.
Elaborate.
It's a part of you, but it shouldn't be all of you. Like, don't be all in. Don't
be all in.
Yeah. And whatever. You can't be all in. Like, your relationship can't be who you are.
Okay. Kind of like how when people like let their letters define them.
Sure, but yeah.
Like in Greek life.
Like, your relationship shouldn't define who you are. Like, if you and your partner were to break up or if you and your partner, aren't seeing eye to eye, your life shouldn't be ruined. You should be able to function with or without your partner. Your partner is an addition to you, but it shouldn't be all of you.
The core of who you are. So it's like, as opposed to being two halves making a whole, we're two whole people becoming a bigger whole.
Sure.
Okay, I get what you're saying. And that's fair.
We're two wholes and we're using pieces of ourselves to make a small part of us.
It's like a circle.
Sure.
I don't know why it just popped into my head. Did you ever see oh no, you remember in I Now Pronounce You, Chuck and Larry?
Yes.
When he was getting married, and he was like, in the ring is like a circle, and he was like kept talking about how they become holes and circles and stuff. Do you remember that part?
No.
Oh my gosh, you don't ever want me to be great.
Because I don't remember it, or maybe you're not explaining it correctly?
It's probably a little bit of both, but I like my logic at this point.
That's what's up.
So, is that tip concluded?
That tip is concluded.
All right.
It's a home run.
Well, not really, because I told you that my tip had to do with like our whole situation, and then you capitalized off of it.
I don't think I capitalized off of it.
And it definitely felt a little inauthentic, like that wasn't off the dome.
It was.
Okay.
I wrote this on Sunday. Look at that. Sunday. This wasn't something new. I've been had this. This is archived.
Oh.
Fuck out of here. Oh, buckethead ass. Go ahead. Let me hear your little relationship tip.
So my relationship tip of the week is
based off of TJ. Go ahead.
To, at times, allow your partner to take care of you. We are independent people.
That ship has sailed.
Shut up.
I'm not taking care of you.
But
you gonna go to your mother.
But
your sister.
Also know his or hers and your strengths and weaknesses in that arena of taking care of a person. Like, it's not that I don't like that TJ takes care of me, but when I'm like not well, like physically well, but sometimes, or even sometimes mentally too, like sometimes TJ doesn't know the words. And so the last thing that I want to do sometimes is have to tell you how to take care of me when I feel like shit.
And that's the reason why I've conceded and I said, fuck this. But
I have to appreciate the effort.
Nah.
And I need to,
effort.
And also it's about, but you also in a relationship need to know and identify like your strengths and weaknesses. Like,
exactly.
You know that you might know that when your partner is ill, like let's say physically ill, that they would really prefer to be left alone, or they would like for you to kind of hang around them because they feel bad or whatever. So like knowing them, but they hate when people try to like make them take all different types of medicine or whatever. It's just like finding that balance. Or if somebody's like, if you're having an emotional breakdown or you're having an emotional moment, some people want nothing but a long hug and silence, and other people don't want to be touched at all. So it's like, but it's about letting that person, like, receiving what that person wants. Receiving what that person is trying to give you.
Don't ever come over here.
But also knowing that, like, if you're not necessarily, like, don't have the warmest bedside manner, then maybe you shouldn't try to, like, do a lot of, like, talking like, oh, you dragging it, you not that sick, come on, when I was sick, like, maybe.
So you saying that's what I said to you?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general.
So are we giving these false? It's
not false as an example.
Examples.
Because we're not the only two people on the planet. Some people do that.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying you got to put a disclaimer out there.
TJ's strength is, like, he will go, like, he'll go get your prescriptions. He'll make sure, like, no, listen, because sometimes when somebody's sick, they don't want to get out of the bed. So, like,
okay,
he'll bring you food.
I'm a doer.
You're a doer.
I'm a doer.
But at the same time, sometimes, like, his bedside manner isn't the best. But we all know TJ, and we know that that's not, like, shocking.
So I have a question about that. Is my bedside manner not good because we've talked about the same thing 15 times?
No, because there's been times when I've had, like, a bad cold, and, like, as soon as I get sick, and you be like, you need to take this here, and I'm like, but, like, you'll, like, wake me up or something like that.
I'd wake you up because I'm pretty sure earlier I was like, you need to take this, and then you didn't take it.
No,
I don't come through guns blazing.
You come, maybe not guns blazing, but you come in you start on, like, pew pew, like.
And all right, so if I come through pew pew, is that because knowing you're gonna be like, you forgot, like, but you were sick and you're supposed to call your doctor, you didn't call your doctor, or when you're supposed to pick up your prescriptions, you didn't pick up your prescriptions?
I went to pick them up, they weren't ready.
No, that's not the story you told me.
What?
It was not.
Oh.
You was like, I forgot.
No.
Yes, that's what you said. I'm just going by what you said, bro.
Okay, sure.
But listen, I've conceded.
It's about
every time you get sick, I'm sending you to your mother. Get out.
Fine, I'll just leave you with Tatum.
That's cool.
Okay. You and your best friend.
No, you can take her ass too.
Oh, exactly. See,
no, I'll take care of my best friend. Exactly. Fuck out of here.
You get on her nerves too.
Everyone gets on her nerves at this point. So.
Oh, she's definitely.
Watch your mouth. I'm not going to talk about her.
But she's doing that because I've been sick. I think that contributes to it.
Okay.
With a little bit more of her sassy self. But we will leave that for later conversation. So that was our relationship tips of the week. Just, be kind to each other, especially when somebody's not feeling well.
Remember to be yourself. Listen, man. Don't go in there drowning yourself in love and then you be left out. Period. And on that note, we're going to go to my word of the week.
Ooh. And what is your word of the week, my good sir?
It is going to be apprehension.
Okay.
Fearful expectation of something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm apprehensive to assisting Dani.
Okay. That's fine. So am I spelling apprehension or apprehensive?
You could do apprehension.
Apprehension. You
know how to spell it, so go ahead.
APPREHENSION.
Spelled it wrong.
Apprehension. APPREHENSION.
No, you spelled it right, but...
Oh, you was fucking with me? Yeah. Shut up.
You wasn't even confident, so...
I have my reasons for not being confident at this moment.
She was selling out the syllables, all that. Shout out to you.
So you just want to throw me off?
I mean, it almost worked. If I honestly, I could have went with that more, and you'd have probably just kept on going.
I would be like, no.
But anyway, now we're gonna go hear a message from one of our sponsors.
This week's episode is brought to you by Reek from the Good Brother Experience podcast. Now, for those of you who remember, Reek was our guest on the episode entitled Well Traveled Chicken, and which I believe is one of our personal best episodes with a guest, or in general in the history of Lovers Quarrel.
It's up there.
And
it's definitely one of our top episodes.
We wanted to give him this slot to, promote him, because he's doing this show first and foremost by himself, which is hard as hell, because sometimes TJ and I are here as a 2-person show most weeks, and we struggle. So the fact that he's giving you quality content and something to think about and laugh about for 30 to 45 minutes says a whole lot about the quality that is his show. And
he's raw and uncut, and he's telling you it all.
So. And he's going to tell you about why Black Air Forces are the bane of everyone's existence. But we just want to show love and support, and we appreciate his love and support of the Lovers Quarrel show, and we want to do the same for the Good Brother Experience. So
check him out.
Make sure you tune in to the Good Brother Experience. Reek, shout out to you. And now, let's get back to the show. All right. And we are back. And we have a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. Sorry, I messed up at the end. Yeah. But where's that from?
Magic School Bus. Is it?
No. I don't know. It's from Blue's Clues.
Who the fuck watched Blue's Clues?
Nigga. Who the fuck watched Blue's Clues? Everybody.
How old were you when Blue's Clues came out? I definitely wasn't watching it.
But I knew what it was. Like, you've never been somewhere and Blue's Clues was on, and you never.
I mean, yeah, it's a little stupid dog.
Did you know Blue was a girl?
No. Oh, yeah. I was that interested in it.
Do you remember when it switched from Steve to Joe?
No, because Steve was touching the kids.
No, what's that? No.
Okay, so why they remove Steve and added Joe? He just
left and moved on. He is like in a rock band or something now.
Okay.
You were just.
It didn't have any black people in it. I wasn't watching it.
Deprived.
I wasn't deprived.
They did have a black.
First off, you were old as fuck watching Blue's Clues. They did have black
people on there. First of all, one of the main characters was the pepper shaker.
So Pepper Shaker is black.
Yes.
You're out of control.
Interracial love.
First off, I'm about to show you. I'm about to see when Blue's Clues started.
So what if I watched Blue's Clues? It wasn't like I watched it religiously,
but I knew
what it was.
It came out in 96.
Okay, so I was 9. So I knew what Blue's Clues was because I was watching Nickelodeon. You never watched Nick Jr. in the mornings before it switched to Nickelodeon?
I wasn't watching Blue's Clues.
Whatever.
It's cool. It's learning a lot about you.
You're going to just cartoon shame me.
I'm not. But it makes sense why you, like, dating me changed who you were. Otherwise, you'd have still been watching Blue's Clues.
I got dumber.
Okay. Got flyer. Yeah, definitely got flyer.
I'll give you that.
100%.
Yeah, my kids were commenting on, like, in my Air Maxes today.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, you'd have had some fucking Skippies on. Exactly. Fuck out of here. You're a hater.
I gave you your credit.
Nah.
I just had to take
You gave me an underline credit.
I took a beat and I thought about it. I processed.
Nah.
Okay, and I made you smarter.
Definitely didn't.
I didn't make you smarter?
No.
I didn't make you more, like, knowledgeable of what's going on in the world?
No.
So why do you always ask me what's going on in the world?
Because I know that you're going to read it, so let me just ask you.
So that doesn't...
But you don't make me smarter. I could ask anybody. Honestly, I ask you because it gives us conversation, something that we could talk about.
I mean, that's why I ask you about, like, basketball.
Oh.
But I'm also interested. I like when you talk about things that you're passionate about.
Oh. Like bitches.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. You see how the octaves went up? Bitches. Anyway.
All right. Well, we got a letter. This letter says, Dear Lovers Quarrel, we sometimes hear about your daughter, so I wanted to ask, what do you plan to set up for her future, and what are some things you would want her to stay away from that you experienced as children and adults, like jobs, schools, credit, bills, etc.?
That's a great question.
I think this is a really good question. I'll let you take it off. My mouth is dry.
You gotta get hydrated.
I do. I have my water right here.
So for me, I want to see what Tatum wants to do. and then I kind of want to push it. So like right now she's in soccer. She was doing like gymnastics.
But we're gonna probably we're gonna do that like free intro class to see if she's
but I'm just saying that we've been exposing her. We're exposing her to things. There you go. That's what you helped me with, vocabulary. Sorry to backtrack.
Thank you.
As far as like schooling goes, I'm kind of jaded. I didn't have the best experience, and
you didn't.
I would say that for schooling, my method would be to tell her to like network. I really think it's all about networking. Do the internships, but it's about who you know more than it is
anything else.
Doing a job anymore. Like just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you're qualified. Because there's people with no degrees who has hella experience. So, with school, you know, I would try to find whatever's going to be the least expensive, so that way she doesn't have debt. And I wouldn't want to go. I would tell Tatum, like, we're not going to go into debt for something. Like, we're not going to send you to USC to take up to get a communications degree. You can get that anywhere. Like, if we're going to spend the money, it needs to be for a degree
like a specialized.
Like, this school is special for this, and it's a guaranteed type situation. Personally, Dani may have a different view on that, but
even though I'm a little less jaded about the education experience, I want her to. I pray, you know, as an educator myself, and just as someone who's loved learning all her life, that she has a passion for learning, whatever the subject may be. And I do agree, like, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, she, you know, have her go to a very expensive college for her to get a degree that is not that they're not necessarily known for, or that is more commonplace. But if she's, you know, if Tatum decides when she's 12 that she wants to be a nurse, and she wants to be an engineer or something like that, and she's shown and proved to me and TJ from 12 to 18 that's all that she cares about, then sky's the limit, baby girl. Like, wherever, we'll make it work.
But if she want to do that, I would push that. Like, I have frat brothers who are engineers. I have
but that's what I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
So
I'm just saying that. If she said that at 12, I would ask my engineer friend or my nurses,
shadow people and stuff like that.
Can they
absolutely
do something? Like, I think I would be more proactive. And I'm not saying that my parents weren't proactive, but it was just a different time. And I feel like what I know now is more advanced than what my parents knew.
Yeah, I was really fortunate because my mom was just kind of like a college whiz as far as like knowing the ins and outs of the application process and exposing us. And we went, like, in my high school, we went from 10th to 12th grade, went on mad college visits and tours and stuff, went to the college fairs. And, like, I didn't realize until now that, like, our nephews are going through the process, and other people's whose children are now going through the process, like that wasn't like as commonplace. Like, it was very much a given in my world, but I realized that was not the case for everyone else. But as far as Tatum is concerned too, is like, I would, you know, education is always going to be important. Like, you need the 2 E's, education and experience. I would agree with TJ, like, making sure,
but it can go either way, because both. She could not have an education. She could not go to college and be the best hairstylist in the world, or, you know what I mean? Like,
but she still have to go to school.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so I guess education can stay there. What I'm trying to say is that she doesn't have to go to college. She can go to a trade school and pick up a trade if that's what she wanted to do.
If she demonstrates that she is beyond passionate about that, if that's like, this is what I want to do, well, you're going to be the best at it. Or and you're gonna do all these things. Or maybe she does go to school because then she can learn the business acumen that comes behind it, and then it help complement it. So I think the education experience is something that we both emphasize with her. Maybe TJ the more experienced side, and I helm the educational side of it. And we
trying to say I'm dumb?
No, nigga.
Just had to make sure.
Shut up. But
as far as jobs, I think from a young age, once she's able to comprehend how money works and stuff like that, I would kind of like, let's have these conversations. Let's have what this job pays, what taxes look like, what you can buy for your money,
bills.
Yeah, like
home ec. I wish
like
it would
realistically,
come back, I agree in giving her like a home economics like crash course. You know, self-sufficient.
Yeah, 100%. Because at the end of the day, people may be like, I want to make $50,000. I've heard people say that. And they're taking out hella taxes. So out of that 50, you may be left with what? 38? 35?
Maybe.
And now you have to live off that. You have to live off of that. But we're not talking about, your rent. We're not talking about your bills, your utilities. We're not talking about dinner. We're not talking about any of that other stuff.
Movies, trips, things like that.
I think we have to start letting people know, kids, adults, whoever. But I mean, it starts with the kids. But you got to start letting them know these things so that way they can realistically think. Because a lot of people we're not as prepared. We get these stories and stuff like that, thinking it's going to be this way, and then when it comes, it's something totally different. And I think that's the biggest thing.
I think another thing that I think she's going to get from both of us, opposite sides of the same coin, which is also not just even like the facts of life kind of thing, but like I think that there's a level of like a little bit more maybe harsh realism that comes from TJ, and I feel like I'm a little bit more of like an optimist. And so,
in what way?
Because you would communicate to her that like degrees don't mean anything without experience to an extent, or like
no, your
experience. You have because of your experience, she might take on a more negative connotation with certain things. But then my experience, so I feel like she's gonna get.
But my approach wouldn't be
on other topics.
I understand that, but my approach wouldn't be a negative. My approach with my daughter, with my niece, my nephew, with anybody I'm talking to is always going to be, this was my experience. Doesn't mean that this is going to be your experience. But this is what I experienced. These were the pros, these were the cons, and kind of go from there. I have 2 masters and been having a hell of a time finding a job. Whereas maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if I'd have said, hey, I have 2 masters, somebody would have been like, you're super qualified, we want you. At least give me the interview. And I'm not even getting that. But again, my story always goes to Eric. Eric got his master's and he moved up the ranks quickly, but he also got it in his field. So maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I went to school because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. And I just thought that was the next thing.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of, like, focus as far as what you wanted to do during those times.
For the most part, yeah. And I'm proud, I have my degrees. I'm accomplished educationally.
Yeah.
But it's just about meeting the other side. But I also knew that when I was going for the degree, I said, I'm going to do this and it can either go positive or negative. I already knew that there's a chance I was going to see this negative side. But I would never deter her or anybody from not doing it. But I would want to put into their eyes that, maybe you don't have to go to college for this. Or, who knows? Tatum may fucking create the next app at age 12 or something like that. And she's getting all this business. Maybe she don't want to go to school. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how or what she's going to be doing years from now. So what I'm saying now may change.
I think for the most part, I would still want her to go to school. Plus, because it's also an experience. I would
only want her to go to school for the experience. I didn't learn shit.
And if it makes sense for her.
I didn't learn shit in college other than networking. I met my best friend there, but one of my best friends, I don't want Will to be offended. I met one of my best friends there. I joined the world's greatest fraternity there. So I got those experiences. And I mean, if you think about all the people who didn't finish college, but, founded Facebook or founded whatever, they all went to college and it all happened going to college. Yeah. For the most part.
Yeah. And if there's a career that requires a college education, then 100%. She should go. But I just don't want her to,
Sky's the limit.
Yeah,
for me.
It's basically like whatever you want to do, but know that you're gonna have to put in the work to get there. And another thing I think I would want to impress upon Tatum as she grows to set her up for her future is understanding that she can't just like not do something just because she doesn't want to do it. Like part of it's really big is like with and I see it a lot with like kids, and I know that it's difficult because kids can be stubborn and stuff like that, but it's like kind of, you know how like when they say when you give a kid or a person tries a new food, they should try it like at least on 3 different occasions before they really say like, oh, I don't like this. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I'm gonna like impress upon her, which is like, if you know, sometimes it's gonna be things that she's shown a clear interest in, or maybe of course I can't think of the word right now, basically like an aptitude for it, like she's good at it naturally. And I feel like that would be our responsibility to make sure that like we expose her to those opportunities and experiences to see if it goes somewhere, if it's something she's passionate about. But there might be also things that we think would be a good fit for her that maybe, you know, 13-year-old Tatum was going to be like, I don't want to do that.
Oh, nah.
But it's like, no, we want you to try. If you try to go a few times. If you really don't like it, then that's one thing. But you're not going to ever tell us that you're not going to like at least attempt something.
I can agree with that.
And so I see that a lot with kids in my experience as a teacher, and it's so draining because it's like just being open-minded to like experiences and to people. That's something that I won't budge on as far as like that needing to be a factor that she has to accept, and because it's going to make her a more well-rounded, understanding, empathetic human.
Yeah. One thing I would do is once you start getting allowances to help her with learning about bills and stuff like that, like making stuff like a bill. Mm-hmm. So if she gets $20 a week, then it's like your rent is this, your this is this, and
or like have her like chores be like,
yeah,
this chore earns you this much money, this chore earns you that much money, and then you know it's that
I think
service yields funds.
Yeah,
because
I think that would be something different.
Free.
Yeah, I mean, my mother kind of told us, like, you know, we had to do our chores for it, but I kind of want to put it into the lens of you got to pay for these things. Mm-hmm. So even if I did it monthly, okay, if you're getting $20 a week, it's $80 a month. Your rent for the room is $10, let's just say, or whatever. Just
like save it or whatever. So really, she's getting $70 a month.
Yeah, so whatever it is, I'm going to take it out, and we could put it into a savings account, or it can be into something. But I want her to be able to start budgeting. Recognizing and budgeting. Yeah. When I was younger, that's all we used to do was budget. Yeah. All right, well, we get this until this week, you know. So we got allowance every 2 weeks. My mother got paid, so that means this has to last me for this long. How can I budget this?
My dad gave me $20 a week for my allowance.
Oh, y'all getting money. $20 a week.
Anyway.
I was getting $20 every 2 weeks.
Well, I got $20 a week.
Ballin'.
Shut up. And like most of the time it went towards food, because it would be like, oh, I'm going to get something to eat after school at the bodega, and $5 would cover my like afternoon lunch, because I couldn't eat the cafeteria food. And so that would be pretty much it. If I spent it on anything else, and I would try to like beg for more, like I would say 97% of the time my father would be like, nope. But that 3%, sometimes he might like slide me an extra $5 or something like that if I negotiated well enough. Plus I was a good kid, so. But I hope that helped you out. I know, like, you know, and it's good because I feel like sometimes TJ and I, like, we have these conversations, but then also too, it's good to know that like he and I are gonna like tag team certain milestones, experiences from different lenses when it comes to Tatum. So, and then also that we're on the same page with a lot of things too.
Yeah. Another thing I would tell her, I know Dani's trying to close it out, but watch out for your friends.
Oh God, friends are trash.
And really, you know, I want to instill that Tatum. I want to instill confidence in Tatum, so that way she doesn't feel like she have to do fuck shit because her friends are doing fuck shit, or you know what I mean. I want her to have her own mind to the point that even if people are like, you're being lame, she's like, okay, and like, you know what I mean. Because peer pressure is hard, but you also got to watch out your friends, and people don't.
Their parents.
Kids don't know how to be friends.
No, you have to teach people, and you have to teach that everybody's not going to be your friend, and that it's okay.
And I'm definitely going to be like, oh, you want to go to who house? Who live there? Where they live?
What's their address?
Yeah.
My father used to ask me. He wouldn't like let me go places unless I gave him the address and the person's first and last name and their parents' name.
Yeah.
Like neither of my parents, but
I didn't like
my
that
dad
as
was
a
always the
child.
one dropping me off.
Yeah, I didn't like that as a child, but I want to meet your parents. I want to meet your parents. I want to come to your house. I want to make sure that this shit is legit,
safe and on the up and up.
100%.
I totally get it.
I understand it now as an adult. Why my mother wouldn't want me to go some places.
Yep.
So
shout out to parents. Tony, Gregory, Ice, and Laura doing the damn thing. We have really good parents.
We do.
Yes, we do. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. And now we're going to shuffle on over to the quarrel.
What are we quarreling about this week?
We are quarreling.
Danielle.
Oh, Danielle. We are quarreling this week about the comments that Fantasia's made on The Breakfast Club. So she was on The Breakfast Club, I guess, earlier this week, last week, whenever, recently. And essentially, Fantasia made the assertion that women need to let men be the leader in the household or the head of household.
Right.
And to give a little bit more context, 2 points that I took away from this, that like one I agree with and one I don't. One point that she made was like, and not just black women, but I'm going to say women in general that who end up having to be single mothers because of whatever reasons, have to be both the father and the mother in a lot of ways, and they have to become more resilient and more independent and stronger, and with all of those things, when another man does come around, those women who have, I'm trying to find the right words to say, those women who have had to build a very tough exterior because they've been handling everything on their own, it's very difficult for them to let their guards down, to be vulnerable, because they're so accustomed to being the lead or the only person that's holding things down, that she was saying that they kind of sometimes push away, I guess, a good man who wants to become a part of this lifestyle versus trying to take over it or trying to change things. And so that was one side of it. And then the other side of it was kind of like, the wife is the neck, the man is the head, but, men have to be the head of the household, kind of like, period.
And that's the part you don't agree with.
That is the part I don't agree with, because I think just like we always preach on this show, relationships are different. And so there's plenty of households where you let the man lead and that's what works for y'all, by all means. But then there's other households where the woman leads. There's other households where they both lead.
So what happened in this household?
I think we both lead in different areas. Like, I think it's important to let a man be a man, but I also think it's important to...
I think that's what she's saying.
But I also think that there's other times where, like, I feel like in our relationship where that I am more qualified or the better person to do something.
Like what?
Like...
killing bugs. You got that.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm the resident bug killer.
Facts.
And that's me. That's my area. And then you are...
everything else.
No. And you are the resident, can I speak to your manager person? Because you get
that's the only thing I do.
I'm not. That's all I do is kill bugs.
I'm giving you examples.
But I just gave you one.
No, that was a trash example.
Oh my gosh. I'm a leader of being patient with you and your silly self. But I just think that it varies. I think more than anything, it varies. I feel like it's like a co-leadership in most relationships where a man will be like, my wife got this. I don't have to be the face, the voice, the head, nothing like that. She's going to hold this down for us and our family. And then there's other times where, no, my husband has it. And then that's what it is.
But I think you're taking it further than what it is. I think she's saying, like, let the man be the man as far as, like...
Well, what does letting a man be a man mean? Because killing bugs would come to mind, but we don't do that here.
I definitely kill bugs. Don't do that.
In my absence?
Okay, exactly. In your absence. I've killed one recently.
Okay, you have.
Exactly. You're always trying to slight me.
But if you had to, you would have me do it, right?
Listen, blame my mother, not me.
Oh, so now you're going to blame my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I think she's just saying that there's women and men who's competing against each other. And, you know, I think letting a man lead is just allowing the man to be a man. Not saying like cheating or not saying anything negative, but it's like if the man wants to do something but the woman is like dictating or I guess what I got from it is that women need to be submissive sometimes they need to just allow the man to do it.
And do you think men should submit sometimes?
Sure.
But then to me that goes back to like
I think it depends on the situation, but
that's
it's
kind
of
like
it's
it's
but
different areas.
Yeah, but I think what she's trying to say is that there's so many women trying to be the king. There's so many women there's so many women who's been independent doing it for so long that now they have a man and they're not allowing the man to be the man.
And I think that's different. That's what I spoke to before, because that's somebody who's got guards up and who has to be more vulnerable.
So
and
you're
not just
sick.
Because
you're sick, and I wanted to take care of you, and you wouldn't let me take care of you.
But not because I wasn't trying to let you be a man or let you.
I'm just using
you weren't.
I'm using that as an example. Mm-hmm. I felt like less of a man because I could not help my wife.
Well, it's not my intention to make you feel like less of a man.
All right, and I don't think there's any other woman's intention to not allow a man to be a man or allow the man to feel the way that he's supposed to do. But that could have been an opportunity that, you know what, TJ's trying to help me. Let me work with him so that way he can feel the way he needs to feel.
So I'm supposed to get care that doesn't necessarily meet my style of care that I like when I feel bad, or that doesn't meet my physical
If you would have stayed at your mother's house,
wait.
I told you to stay at your mother's house, I would have felt like I did my job.
And see, I thought it was more like you were trying to just like send me over there because like you felt bad that I didn't want to be here with you. So that's why I was still coming back here.
But so
we didn't communicate that well.
I did communicate that. I said stay at your mother's house because you don't feel well.
I thought it was kind of like a passive aggressive thing at the time.
All right. So exactly. So you're not being submissive. You're not even trying because you're trying to battle me. You're trying to be the king.
I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just not. I don't feel well, and
I know. But if you don't feel well, and I know you don't feel well, and I'm saying stay at your mother's house because you're going to your mother's house every day, so you're wasting the energy that you could have had staying at your mother's house. Mm-hmm. But you wanted to prove a point because of whatever, or you thought this was a game and you were being challenged.
I thought it was. What I thought it was that.
And instead, you made it. You made the house miserable because what?
Mm-hmm. I'm okay. I didn't think I made the house miserable.
All right, well, you made me miserable.
I felt like you were miserable because you wanted me to stay home and allow for you to take care of me, but because I don't necessarily like your nurse TJ isn't necessarily always the nurse that Dani needs, and that bothered you. I think that I felt like that bothered you, and that's why you were like, just go stay with your mothers. That's
definitely not how we said it.
It's not how you said it, but that's how I received it.
I asked you, why don't you stay at your mother's house? Like, because every day you would come home, like, it was pointless. Like,
okay, but it wasn't trying to be the king, and it wasn't trying to not let you lead or whatever. But I can understand that now with looking back in hindsight, that if that was your effort to facilitate my care, because you're like, you know what, you feel better at your mom's, you're going over there anyway, just stay there, and then I'll take Tatum, and then we'll go from there. If that was the case, then I would have been more receptive to it. But at the same time, that also means that there needs to be greater communication, in this case on my part. But also too, like, not to try and make a total excuse of it, but I was feeling so horrible that it becomes difficult to sometimes like sift through everything and to get the point that you're trying to make. It's just like, I just want to feel better. But coming back to the point, to me, it's like allowing someone to lead. It's just like, allow the person who's the best for the job to lead, or who's best at this particular task, or has this personality trait where it's a strength. Allow that person to lead because it makes the most sense, not just because he's a man or she's a woman.
But I don't think that's what she was necessarily saying. I think that there was a time that a man was a man, and a woman would never embarrass her man. She was always going to look out for her man. And so, for example, Shireen and Charles. Mm-hmm. Charles always tells a story about he didn't have no money. Friends wanted to go out on a date. He went, but he went reluctantly. Mm-hmm. And during the date, bill comes, all this other stuff. But before the bill came, Shireen sent him money. Mm-hmm. She allowed him to be a man.
I think that that's an amazing story. I would feel confident that would be something that I would do as well. I
don't think you would.
Or you think I would just... Well, first of all, I don't think you would have cared if you knew I had it. You don't care if I pull my card out and pay the bill.
I mean, I don't care, and I don't care because we typically go back and forth. But I don't think that if I told you, Dani, I'm down, I don't got it, and you still wanted to go out, that you would have been like, I know you don't got it, but I'm going to send you the bread so that way it doesn't look like I'm paying the bill. I don't think that you would have personally, and if you're saying I'm wrong, you can say I'm wrong. I don't think that you would have even thought about it that way. You'd have just been like, it's whatever. It's me and TJ, so it is what it is.
And the only reason why I don't think I would have done it that way is because, to me, that's not where your pride lies. Where it would be like, I'm embarrassed because I don't have anything. If you know that, like, we are a team, we are a unit. If right now I got it, then I'm going to pay for it. And so, because in the course of our relationship, there's never been a time where you felt like, and if we apply that same scenario, where you would be
first of all, I would have just put it on one of my credit cards, and then I would have figured it out.
Well, that's one.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is that Shireen allowed Charles to be the man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I do not feel like if we were in the same situation, you would have been like, let me send TJ the money so that way he can be the one to pay for it. Or
I probably wouldn't.
Or vice versa. Hey, babe, thanks for sending me the money so that way I could pay for this. So that way it looks like whatever. That's all I'm saying. It's not a negative thing. It's not a positive thing. I'm using that as an example because for Charles, that was one of the things that made him like, oh yeah, she's the one.
And for me, I would say I probably would not have, but that's because the dynamic between you and myself, to me would have been, you would not have minded if I took out my card and paid, because you've like, because we've been out with other couples.
I think you've
paid and I've paid before.
But we've never went out when I did not have it. I think you're missing the context.
Okay.
The context is he did not have it. He was low on cash. He did not have it. But they had to go out because of whatever the circumstances were. And what I'm saying is that if we were in the same situation, I do not feel like you would have just paid it. You'd have been like, I got it, and that would have been it.
Would you? And do you feel like your pride would have been hurt by that?
Not necessarily.
Which is why I probably would have been like, I got it.
Yeah.
But I got you.
Earlier, listen, I was giving you the scenario. That's it.
Okay. It's a great scenario of like giving a man space to be a man. But all I'm saying is like every situation, every couple is different, and I just feel like there's moments where
100%. No,
you let a man be a man, and then other times, but sometimes like you touched on this, and I wanted to say that you touched on like let a man, so there was back in the day people would let men be men or whatever, but sometimes, not all men, let me start with that, but sometimes letting a man be a man meant letting men do whatever they wanted and all types of fuck shit towards women, and then that also.
I'm pretty sure that's not what Fantasia is saying.
I don't think that's is.
I'm saying,
but what I'm harkening. I'm just let me finish my thought. I'm just harkening back to like that whole like you got back in the day or letting a man be a man, but there was an abuse of that as well, and so I think that's
the biggest issue.
But it's just a generational shift.
Yeah, and she talked about it being generational, but I think people are taking what she's saying and taking it out of context. Mm-hmm. All she's saying is allow a man to be a man. Sometimes a woman just has to be submissive. Sometimes, and the way I see it is sometimes a woman has to stroke our egos. Sometimes make us feel like we did the most outstanding thing in the world, even though it wasn't that big.
Do you feel like that should be reciprocated?
Yeah. I mean, it can be.
So that comes back to my point of like, everybody wants to have their ego stroked. Everybody wants an opportunity to feel like the guy or the girl in that moment because it makes them feel good. So when the moment calls for it, you let a man be a man, but then other times when the moment calls for it, let the woman be the woman.
Ultimately, I know,
as far as like,
but who's not allowing the woman to be a woman? Basically, what I got from it is what she's saying is women are not keeping men there because they want to be the man, as opposed to you know what, he want to fucking take out the trash, I'm gonna let him take out the trash because. A woman could be like, I can do it too, so I'm just going to do it. That's what the idea is. So if there's something that, whatever that man needs to feel comfortable or to feel like the man, allow that. That's what I'm getting from that. Women have to allow the man to be the man based off of how your conversations are. If he likes to cook on Thursdays, don't start cooking on Thursdays. If he want to take you out, let him take you out.
I can understand that. And to me, that's just not even like about letting a man be the man, but it's just about letting your partner have. Sometimes everybody has their thing in a relationship, and it's like if that's that person's thing, then let them do that because it's what, even if it's small, if it's minuscule, whatever, it makes them feel good. And it makes them feel important and validated. And we should all have those things that our partners give us grace or allow for us in order to us to feel like to kind of put some, be able to puff our chests out a little bit. And so in that sense, I would say, yeah, in that context that I'm giving, absolutely give opportunities for let a man be a man. But I don't necessarily like the word submit. Because I feel like to submit is to bow down, like there's a level of superiority, and I don't think that there's a level of superiority.
But I don't think submitting is necessarily that.
I mean, a commoner submits to royalty. That's like, you submit to. You
could be submissive in the bedroom.
If that's your bag, so absolutely. But
that's one negative.
It's one corner.
I feel like a lot of times we take words and we put our own definitions, our own versions on what these words mean.
So should men at times submit to their woman?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I've never said that they can't, but we're talking about allowing men to be a man again. I'm with Fantasia on this. Let men be men again.
I am with myself on this. Let men be men and let women be women as far as
women are women.
Co-leads. Just be co-leads. Sometimes somebody takes a back seat and the other one drives, and then sometimes it's the other way around.
It's like a woman who wants to celebrate Father's Day because there's
I don't agree with that. Because there's Mother's Day.
Yeah, I get that, but
I feel like there's a shift in that too. People are moving away from that because it is very petty and it is unnecessary. Father's Day petty. So are men. Fathers, are highlighted on Father's Day. Mothers are highlighted on Mother's Day. More than anything, you just don't have to broadcast it. Like if your grown child gives you a gift on Mother's Day and Father's Day because you were a single parent, bless your heart. But you don't have to broadcast it. But that's just how I feel about all of that.
You got it.
Are you submitting?
Yes. I'm submitting.
All
Being
right.
submissive.
All right. You ready to wrap this sucker up?
We can wrap this up.
Folks, this has been yet another episode of Lovers Quarrel. If you like what you heard, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, follow, tag. We are on all streaming platforms, podcast platforms. So make sure you find us and do your thing.
And listen, please go on the podcast app and rate us. I don't care if you give us 1 star.
Yeah.
Give us a 1 star and tell us what we need to do better. Give us a 3 star and tell us we need to do better. Give us a 5 star and tell us what we need to do better. Mm-hmm. But the ratings help. It helps us get better. It helps us know what we need to work on, what you like, what you don't like. And, opinions matter.
Yes, we care about them a lot. And in addition to, sharing your opinions that way, you could always DM us or comment on our posts. And you follow us on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Show or on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7. Or of course, you can always email us at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. With that being said, this has been another episode of Lovers Quarrel. As always, I am your girl, Dani.
And I'm your guy, TJ.
And you know that we fuss.
We fight. But we love.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gainz Load and Lock grips by Gainz Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to GainSportsGear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.